we have a very special guest with us. I believe it's Coach Rechy. That's gonna going just to really help us navigate, oh, right, within that relationship management. That is really, really, if you think of it, it's summarized upon the all the elements of the emotional intelligence itself. It's relationship management that's really covered self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, to build up and maintain that healthy relationships. If you think of it, it's all of that, right? So it's including effective communication and so forth. So I can wait, Dr. Coach Richie, going just to help us through that. And please do, I'm encouraging guys, ask questions. Just let us just interact. Let us just talk. Let us just like really, because it is such an established community that we have here, that there's an acceptance. We all in that level where we are diving to, because we know where we came from and where we are going together. So let's just continue going to where we need to be. Okay. So with that said, let us introduce and welcome Coach Richie.
Brother, what it do, what it do, man. I am excited to be here with you all tonight. And I'm gonna just be real, guys. Your life is gonna change. All right. I'm just gonna be so real. Your life will never ever be the same if you take the knowledge, if you take the gems, if you take what I am going to say to you. I guarantee you that your life is never gonna be the same, man. My name is Richie Baltazar. I go by Coach Richie, and entrepreneurs and leaders break barriers and build more confidence using NLP techniques and spiritual. So my job here today is not to motivate you. My job here is not to teach. My job is to transform your life. Put in the chat transform if you want to transform your life today, not tomorrow, today. Put in the chat transform. Blow me up, chat. Put transform in the chat. Put transform. If you want your life to be changed today, put in the chat transform. There you go. There you go. There you go. Come on, y'all. I need more energy, man. Put transform in the chat. Put transform in the chat. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. I see. I
All
see
right.
you.
Okay. They
A lot of
coming in.
us.
They coming in. They coming in.
I know. They come in. So a lot of us as entrepreneurs and leaders, by the way, to those of you who don't know who I am, I'm someone who was really suicidal, someone who was really depressed as a young adult, and that led me to being acted at a mental health facility because I couldn't control my emotions, right? And how many of you guys have ever been in a situation where you actually felt like throwing in the towel? Throw in the chat real quick if you ever experienced a moment in your life where you were like, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm gonna just give up. Life has no meaning for me. What's out there for me? Do I really have a purpose? Right? And so as I was fighting these internal questions, because I didn't have that emotional intelligence, that led me to being Baker acted for a week in mental health facility. Emotional intelligence is critical as an entrepreneur, as a leader. If you do not have emotional intelligence, you are going to end up in a place where you do not want to end up at, right? It can either be in your relationships, it can either be in your finances, it can either even be in your family, right? Because a lot of you guys here listening to me right now, you guys have a family, right? If your emotions isn't in check, then I guarantee you, your family isn't going to be in check. Your finances, it's not going to be in check. Your relationships, the people around you, because you lack emotional intelligence. So write this down. To have emotional intelligence, you need a clear outcome. All right. Intelligence is the application of wisdom. An outcome is a clearly defined goal or desired state. Many of us in life, we don't have outcomes. Let's be real. You wake up out of bed, you either don't have a calendar or you just let the days just flow by and you don't know exactly what you are going to do for that day from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. to all of my morning people that wake up at that time frame. You need to have a clear outcome. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to read for 30 minutes. I'm going to pray for 30 minutes. I'm going to meditate for this amount of time. Put your phone on do not disturb. That is a form of discipline. That is a form of you having an emotional outcome. Why is that? Because you don't want to be bothered by the external noise that are outside of the world, right? You want to make sure that your mindset, your spirit is in the right place so that you can tackle anything that comes your way as an entrepreneur, as a leader, whether it's business, whether it's managing your team, whether it's throwing an event, right? Like Dr. Lou, he has a lot in his plate. And if Dr. Lou does not maintain his emotions, I guarantee you, Dr. Lou is going to be in a place where he does not want to be at. Without managing your emotions, you will always end up in a place you do not want to be at. You got to have an outcome. What's your outcome for this year emotionally? Do you want to have more friends? Do you want to be more happy? You're smiling, but deep down inside, there's something killing you. You gotta have a clear outcome. What is it? What do you want emotionally for yourself? You're pouring into everybody but yourself. That's your problem. Yeah, God told me to tell you this. God told me to tell you, you keep on pouring into everybody else but yourself. That's why you feel so drained. You know what I'm saying? That's why you feel so tired, right? Because you're pouring, you're pouring, you're pouring, you're pouring, you're pouring, you're pouring. But you're not putting me, you're not putting yourself first. You cannot pour what you do not have. Woo. You cannot pour what you do not have. It's just like water. I have water, right? If I have an empty cup, I'm able to pour water into that cup. But what if there's no water in here? I will not be able to pour into anybody else's cup. Why? Because I'm dry. Why? Because I'm dead. Why? Because deep down inside, I'm empty. And some of you guys listening to me right now, you barely have water. And you're pouring, you're pouring, you're pouring, you're pouring, you're pouring. What are you pouring? I'm just gonna be real. What are you pouring? You need to understand, for you to pour into your business, for you to pour into other people, for you to even pour into your family, you need to pour into yourself. That's the first key of having emotional intelligence. You need to shift your mind from reacting to responding by focusing on the outcome. Think about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey had a clear outcome, and she was raised in a unfortunate predicament. Her family was poor. She didn't really have means, but she had a clear outcome and she knew exactly where she was going in life, and she achieved that goal. How many of you guys have ever had a setback in your life, but you're like, hey, you know what? I could have dealt with that more better. I could have managed my emotions more effectively, but you just didn't know how. And that's all about having emotional intelligence. Successful people focus on the outcome, not the problem. Write that down. Successful people focus on the outcome, not the problem. Don't focus on the problem. Shift your mindset. In NLP, neuro linguistic programming, I have taken some classes with NLP, and they have a concept called reframing, right? Reframing is simply uncovering the positive intention behind an emotional manifestation. Think about bananas. Think about dogs. Think about money. My language triggered a manifestation. And the moment I said bananas, what came in your mind? Bananas. The moment I said, think about money, be reframed by speaking positive. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Whatever you speak, you begin to feel. And when you start to feel emotion, that's when you start to execute. Successful people know this. That's why you see successful people, they put a lot in their emotions. Steve Harvey, who knows Steve Harvey in the beginning of his career? He used to have his haircut, which was for his clothes was really expensive, his shoes was really expensive. He didn't have it at the time, But the people that were going to put Steve Harvey on stage, they did that so that he can feel a certain way. So that way, whenever Steve Harvey went on stage, the emotion that he felt was confident. He was happy. And that's why he was able to murder the stage because he felt an emotion. Your emotions are in control of your confidence. Your emotions are in control of the relationships that you have. Your emotions are in control of your finances. Once you get the concept of emotional intelligence, that is when you are going to be able to enter into a whole new realm, a whole new level. Who here in the chat have ever heard your prospects say, I can't afford it? Drop in the chat real quick. Whenever you do an offer, they're like, hey, you know what? I can't afford it. Drop in the chat real quick because I know that there's a lot of entrepreneurs, there's a lot of business people here. And whenever they go out to a prospect and they give an offer, right? And the prospect is like, I can't afford it. That's a lie. You can't afford it. Users don't feel like buying. I guarantee you, if I pull out a gun and I'm like, hey, you know what? I need $5,000 by the end of this week or else. You are going to find every means by getting that $5,000. Why is that? Because there's someone's life at stake if you do not come up with this $5,000, right? And it all goes back to feeling. So when Dr. Lou says, come to this conference, it's your emotions that are going to give you the willpower to enter inside of that conference because you buy based off of how you feel. Write that down. You buy based off of how you feel. Why did I come to this webinar? Because I felt like it. You could have been doing so many things right now. You could have been watching TV. You could have been spending time with your family. But the only reason why you are on this call is because you felt like it. Why did you buy the car that you buy? Because you felt like it. Why did you create a shirt that has your name and your brand on it? Because I felt like it. Why did I wear a watch? Because I felt like it. Why did I wear a hat? Because I felt like it. Why did I go to Taco Bell? Because I felt like it. You do things because of your emotions, right? And when you reframe, catch this, when you reframe every emotion that comes your way that is negative into a positive, then you will have intelligence, right? You will have emotional freedom. Because whenever you are faced with obstacles in life, inflation, right? AI is taking over. These things that the world is heading towards right now, right? The direction that the world is heading towards right now. Once you reframe, it's easy. AI is taking over. So what? I got God by my side. Okay, hey, Coach Richie. Have you heard that the stock market? Okay, cool. So what? I got God by my side. That's the reframe. Hey, Coach Richie, you heard that there's a lot of jobs out there, like they're firing people, they're laying. So what? I got God by my side. You stressed out because you don't know how to reframe. You stressed out because you don't know that it's your emotions that are going to lead you to freedom so that you don't stress and you don't panic. I know that there's a lot of Haitians here, right? So you guys can get the phrase when people do, oh, way, BT, ou même tande, Trump CSI, les fesses. All of that is you're manifesting all of this energy. You're speaking negative emotions over yourself. Why not reframe and say, you know what? Bon Dieu fidèle. God is faithful. Même pas peine. Okay, cool. Start using your words to reframe so that every single time there's a negative emotion that comes, you reframe it with a positive outcome. Okay. So the last thing that I'm going to say before I leave is your physiology, right? Tony Robbins talks about that a lot, right? It's your state. How do you feel? Some people, they exercise. Some people, they go out for a walk. Some people listen to music. For example, Dr. Lou, there's a psychology behind what he played music. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the psychology behind it because once you listen to that song, it puts you in a state, right? And Once you understand how to use music, how to use going to the gym, eating right, right, going out for a walk, doing small little basic stuff, you're able to change your state. And once you change your state, you are able to change your emotional outcome. All right. So I'm open for any kind of questions, any kind of Q&A. Like I said, I'm really interactive. I'm a people person. So if someone can unmute, throw a quick question at me, let me know what what emotional outcome that you want to achieve, and I'll be able to help you out right here, right on the spot.
Hi, this is Martine. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Coach Rechy, oh my
How's
God.
it going, Martine?
I'm doing great. Oh, my MG. You got me going in here.
Talk to me,
Okay.
sis.
I'm like, you said focusing on
Hey,
the outcome. You know something,
hopefully,
when you say about,
mhm.
because right now what I do, I take 30 minutes. You just said something about take 30 minutes of your time to do something. And starting today, for real, I start listening to something on the app, not on the app, on YouTube, how to
Okay,
talk about wealth, health, and stuff like that. So it's an hour, 30 minutes. So I took 30 minutes before I start working this morning. I took 30 minutes of my lunch and I listened to it. And then tonight I'm going to listen to the other 30 minutes. That's something that I want to keep bringing into my emotional, making sure, that's what I'm looking for, is for wealth and health and great health. When you say focus on the outcome, I mean, that really stands out because, yes, we all want to be have money and stuff like that, but we want to be rich, of course. But me, I am going to focus on that. I'm taking time for myself, like an emotional
there you
time
go.
every 30 minutes, and then I appreciate that. What you said, that's a confirmation for me tonight. Thank you so much for that. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And quick question: what outcome do you want to focus on specifically right now emotionally?
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if we can get a little deep. I'm someone that's deep. I'm not surface level. Yeah. Trust me, I'm not surface
Yes.
level. People pay me over 2,500 for coaching.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm gonna go deep with you right now since I'm up. So let me know what outcomes
Well, yeah, my
you
outcome,
want.
of course, I'm a Mary Kay beauty consultant. I've been dreaming about being in that pink Cadillac and making over six figures, and I'm still working on it.
Okay.
So that's what I'm working towards. And then I know I'm not going to stop until I get to the top, reach to the top. Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
It's
okay, good. What steps, yeah, what steps are you doing to activate that outcome more quicker?
Well, now I'm reaching out to more people, and then I'm
Good.
going out more. Talk about the business. Talk about how to take care of skin care and all that. Things like that. So I'm more out there, and I'm doing more parties, so I'll be able to succeed. And then it's not just me doing the work to get the pink Cadillac, but I need other business partners to join with me. It's not a pyramid; it's a direct sale. So, I just looking for business partners to want what I want too. If I want this, they want it too. So, that's what I'm working towards, is doing that. So
Okay.
I'm doing more for
Okay.
myself now. Yes.
That's good. That's good. And give it up for her in the chat for being
Yes,
vulnerable
yes.
at
Let's
this
give a
second.
hand for
Give it
Martin.
up in the chat real quick.
Yes.
Um, One thing that I will say too is make sure that as you're pouring into yourself, you truly put yourself first in this season because this year is about you,
Yes.
right? It's
Yes.
not about nobody else. It's about you, sis. So go
Yes.
out there, go and murder it. I hope that I see you at the conference. I
Oh,
can hug you.
I'm
We can
already
take a good
there.
picture.
I'm there. I'm there. I already bought my tickets since last month. I'm in.
All right, sis.
But
I'll see
I
you
have
there.
fun.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
All
Yes.
right,
What's
sis.
up? Who's next? Who's
Who's
next?
next?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hey,
How's it going,
Mikey.
sis?
Hi, this is Magane. How's everybody?
Good to hear you. We will. Good to hear you.
Yes, Richie, I just want to tell you that I can hear your energy and your encouragement. And as a youth, I really appreciate that, to see more youth coming out and to coach and to teach others like us who's a little older than you.
Trust me, sis. I coach people in their 30s, 40s, 50s. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying this. I
Yeah.
know how to deal with my people.
Now,
Right.
listen, guys. How old you guys think this man is? How old you guys think which is?
And I appreciate that. And what I do want to say, the questions, the answer to your question about the outcome for
Yeah.
me, like the sister said, yes, I'm working on my debt, and this is something I've been doing consistently, and I'm being more consistent than inconsistent. And one of my goals is, believe it or not, I always thought about speaking, but I feel that I'm not a good speaker. But I was
Pause right there.
told,
Okay, pause, pause, pause. I'm gonna
yeah,
cut you off right. Pause, pause. Everyone is- what said something. She said, "What? Phil? Drop in the chat. Drop in the chat. Drop in the chat, guys." She said, "Phil, I feel like I'm not a good speaker." Now let's correct it right now. I feel like I am a great speaker. Re-say that again. I feel like I am a great speaker.
I feel like I am a great.
A great speaker. Now pause. Now what you need to do now is you need to associate that feeling with physical things that you can do to make you become that great speaker, to make you feel like it. It's all an emotion. I feel like this. I feel like that. I feel like that. Once you change that emotion, you got it. You
Yeah.
got it. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead. Go ahead.
However, I do have the second part. However, I do like to talk, and I do talk among small groups. Like at work, I do like to do teaching skills. So I feel that, well, this is my experience, that if I'm talking at work, is this my audience, people that I work with, or my patient, I will have a conversation, and I don't have any problem with that. But when it comes going out there in public, so like say if I want to teach about health and wellness, so I'm trying to figure out what will be a way for somebody as a starter to, to do it, or what's the process?
Okay, so the question is, what is the process for a speaker to start speaking on health and wellness? Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, the process meaning emotionally, niche down the meaning of process.
Like the steps, what are the steps with the, I know everything's a process, like steps, moving, like starting as a starter, brand new starter. I know everything has a guideline. What are your steps? What's the curriculum? How to go about. Maybe start small.
Okay, oh, okay,
You know.
okay. Perfect, perfect. So you already have a general idea on the concepts of health and wellness, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the process to start getting you on stage is the basics. How many people have you reached out to see if you can hop on their platform to start speaking? Because the first step is really just getting yourself out there.
Because of technology, like I said, I'm learning. I'm not really the savvy type, but I do the basic. It's just for me, I found that organization is my issue. But I'm a procrastinator.
Okay.
If it comes under pressure, I will work under pressure. But I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to do things, organizing, get things done as I go along. So that's what I'm working. That's my other challenge.
Okay. Nah. I got you. So first of all, it's never gonna be it's never gonna be perfect. If you come into this with a paradigm that everything is going to be perfect, it's not, right? Things are going to be disorganized. All right, get used to it. As you start, everything is going to be sloppy, but as you build, things are going to start to be more firm and more established, right? And the number one thing I would say is get yourself there. Contact list that you can reach out and be like, hey, you know what? I speak on health and wellness, and I would love to bring value, even if it's free, right? I would love to bring value to anything that you know that's probably around the area. It starts with your phone. Who do you have in your contact list that you can call? Be like, hey, you know what? I'm a health and wellness. It's not even all about the tech side, right? just calling people, outreaching. There's going to be a lot of people at the conference. Shake their hands. You never know. You can make a connection. I made a connection myself when I was at a conference. I shook someone's hands, and then after that, they brought me on to their platform. They were able to have the chance to come speak at on my platform. It's all about getting in the room, and you have already done that. So put in the chat a a big round of applause because she's already in a room right now. There's multiple people that are willing to bring you on their stage, but they need to know that you exist. There's 8 billion people. Magali, right?
Yes.
Magali, there's 8 billion people here on earth that needs to hear your voice, that needs to hear your story. 8 billion, not million, not thousand. There's 8 billion people that want to work for you specifically. I'm gonna give you a good example. I reached out to someone for coaching, but I didn't know that she was actually going like she actually needed coaching. I reached out to her. I was like, "Hey, do you need coaching?" Yeah, I absolutely do. Now, question: imagine if I never asked. She just would have been there. And it's the same thing with these 8 billion people here living on Earth. They need you, but they don't know that you exist. Make yourself findable. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, make yourself findable. Make people know that you exist. Refine your craft and go out there and murder the game, Nagli. I cannot wait to see you.
Yes.
Please come up to me, give me a big hug. We will take a picture, okay?
Okay.
And then I would definitely love to collaborate with you in the future.
Yes, we'll
Uh,
do. Thank you
uh,
so much for motivation. Keep up the good work.
thank you,
Absolutely,
Magali. Thank
sis.
you